Welcome to the David Chronicles. And now here's your host, Todd Napper. Hey everybody, welcome to the show. I am your host, Todd Napper, and this is the David Chronicles. Thank y'all so much for tuning in and listening to the show. Hey David, how's it going, man? This is your daddy talking. And just want you to know that I love you so much, and I'm so proud of you, and I just can't wait to see the man that you're going to grow up to be, and the young boy that you're going to grow up to be, and all of the things that you're going to do. Well, over the last week, there has been quite a few things that has happened. And one of the big things that has happened is you have initiated me quite well, to say the least. Let's give you a little bit of backstory. I don't like diapers. I don't like diaper changes. I don't like many of those things, which, I mean, I know that's all part of the job, and I know it's all part of raising kids and raising babies especially, is the diaper changing duties. I said duty. I'm a big kid, I know. But over the last 3 months, you turned 3 months on February the 9th, so in those 3 months, I am not really proud to say that I haven't changed your diaper one time. Your mom has always taken care of this thing for me, and to be honest with you, man, I really don't know what the deal is and why something like that just kind of freaks me out. I don't know, it just isn't something that I really wanted to do, I guess. And so your mom has been really gracious and very kind, and she's just allowed me to indulge in my weirdness, I guess. And I don't know, it's just been one of those things. I'm sorry. And I know there's been plenty of times that I've felt like a terrible dad because I just never did it. And I kept telling myself I was going to. I knew there was going to be a day that I was going to have to do it, and there was going to be a day where I was going to be watching you and taking care of you, and mom wasn't going to be around, and I wasn't going to let you sit around in a poopy diaper all day. So I knew the day was going to come. And so for 3 months, that day hadn't happened. But over the last week, there's been a couple of days where I was watching you by myself. I had given your mom a nice break for the evening, where she could go get a pedicure and a manicure, and then she went to go run an errand or two one night, and so there was a couple of nights last week that I watched you by myself. During that time, nothing really happened. You didn't have any explosions or anything like that, so I didn't have to change any diapers. But let's talk about Sunday. Sunday, Mama decided to pick up a patient. Not literally, I don't think. No, she didn't pick him up. She decided that she needed to help this patient out. She was getting paid really good money to do it, and so I decided, well, this is another good opportunity for me to watch you by myself, kind of get a little bit of bonding together, and we'll see how things go. So your mom went off to visit this patient, and I, started spending some time with you. You had started getting a little fussy over the course of time, and so I figured you might be getting a little sleepy, you might be getting hungry or whatever, so I stood up and started walking around with you and kind of holding you a little bit and rocking you. And we were watching bull riding. And so we were watching the PBR, really getting into watching PBR. And all of a sudden I heard this little noise, which I was like, okay, well, you either farted or, filled your diaper, one of the two. I was kind of hoping it wasn't the latter, but you never know. And so we're just kind of sitting there watching the TV, and I had been holding you kind of in the crook of my arm, and you kind of got a little bit heavy, so I decided to switch you over to the other side. And so I did. And when I slipped you over to the other side, I looked down at my arm, And then that's when I saw it. A nice little brown spot on my arm that I instantly knew was poop. It was that gray poupon. And so I was like, oh, great. Well, okay, it looks like he has blown out his diaper. And it looks like you have blown out your diaper. And so I looked at the side of your legs, and I didn't see anything on the side of your legs. So I was like, that's interesting. Well, maybe he just kind of rubbed it on my arm a little bit, and it's kind of a little bit leaked out. And that's when I looked further down. And I looked further down, and I noticed there was a splotch on my shirt. And then looked even further down and noticed there was also a splotch on my shorts. So I'm like, well, where did this come from? So I kind of did a little bit of investigation, and that's whenever I realized, oh, his onesie, your onesie, was completely full of poop. And not only that, the poop had traveled out of your diaper and all the way up your back. Yeah, quite the mess. And so then that's when I realized, okay, well, I'm going to have to do the cleanup on this one, because there is no way in this world I'm going to wait for your mom to come back while you have all this poop all the way up your back. So I'm trying to figure out, okay, so what's the best way? What's my best way of cleaning you up? I got to thinking about it. I was like, okay, well, if I put a towel down on the couch, maybe then, you won't have a big mess. And so I lay you down on the couch, and I go get changed really quick because I didn't want to have to do all this work with, poop all over my clothes. So that wouldn't have done us very much good. So I got myself changed, and then I came in there, and I was like, okay, well, I could try to change you on the couch, but that just has the makings of a even bigger mess. So I'm thinking, okay, what can I do? So I'm holding you in one arm, and I'm taking your clothes off with the other one. And I was like, okay, well, I'll just take you to the bathtub. So I took you to the bathtub with the towel, laid the towel out, and laid you on the towel in the bathtub, and just started cleaning you up. And all this time I'm thinking, wow, well, that's definitely one way to initiate me into the diaper changing world. So you did a great job, son. Good job, man. You initiated me quite well. I finally got you all cleaned up, got everything out of the bathtub, got the bathtub all cleaned up, and wiped you down and cleaned you, wiped you down with the wipes and cleaned you up really well. So, well, thank you so much for initiating me into the diaper changing world. I know this probably will not be my last diaper that I'm going to change, but at least now I've got the worst part. I'm assuming this is probably one of the worst ones over with. I'm hoping that. I don't know. I've heard some other stories as well, so we'll see. We'll see. And everyone out there who wants to jump my back about letting this be the first time of changing his diaper, I know, I get it. I get it. There's all these dads out there that are just so happy to change their son's diaper and change their daughter's diapers and all this kind of stuff. I'm sorry. I'm a little late to that wagon, okay? But anyway, so that's what happened this week, and you're still growing like a weed. We'd gotten you an extra saucer for Christmas, or not us, but Papa and Gigi got you an extra saucer for Christmas, and so I put that together for you, and you seem to love that. You're having a blast in that. There's not too many things that we can sit you in and just kind of let you play around in, and because you tend to get bored. You're kind of like your daddy. You don't like to be sitting in one spot for a long period of time. So we put you in this extra saucer, and we can actually get some things done because you just bounce around and talk, and you're talking a whole lot more now. You're starting to voice your opinion. Your yawns are as cute as all get out whenever you're tired. I think you're actually starting to teeth, too. I mean, you're 3 months old, and you're drooling like crazy. You're chewing on things, and so everybody's saying that you're already starting to teeth. So that's pretty crazy. But why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you be teething already? You've already you from your birth, you were pretty much ahead of the curve on everything. You were lifting your head right at birth. As soon as they lay you down on your mom, you were lifting your head, trying to look around. You've been so alert for the first 3 months of your life. Everybody's commented on how alert you are, and so, you know what? Why wouldn't you be ahead of the curve on this one too? Who knows? But yeah, that's what happened in David's world this week. So when we come back, I'm going to read a little story. I've got a book that's real important to me. It has been important to me for a long time. Yeah, when we come back, we'll read that. I'll let you know more about that story. All right, welcome back, everyone. This is the David Chronicles, and I am your host, Todd Napper. This is the part of the show where I read a little story to David. I told a little story about David. Now it's time for me to read a little story to David, and I don't know if anybody else would be interested in even hearing this, but hey, it's not for y'all, it's for him anyway. So anyway, all right, David, the book that I have, it's called Old Hat, New Hat. And it's one of the books that I just absolutely loved as a child. And when I was a little kid, I just loved hearing Papa read this book to me. And so I'm going to pass the tradition on a little bit. I'm going to read this story to you. It is called Old Hat, New Hat, and it's by Stan and Jan Berenstain. And this book was actually bought for you by Papa and Gigi and Papa. It was one of the first books that they bought you, so we're just kind of keeping on the tradition. It's on the front. In the front of it, it says, "To David from Gigi and Papa, we hope you enjoy this book. We love you." And so it has this little bear, and he's looking for a new hat. And so he's going, and the first part of it is he's actually going inside of this little hat store. And so he just really looks disgusted, and it says, "Old Hat." He's walking by this window, and all of a sudden he sees this bright new hat in the window. So we have Old Hat, New Hat. He walks inside, and there's a row of hats, and so he goes, "New hat, new hat, new hat, new hat." The man he's now in the process of looking at all of these different hats, and the gentleman who is working at the store just bringing him a whole long line of hats, and each one he finds problems with. So we have too big, too small, too flat, too tall, too loose, too tight, too heavy, too light, too red, too dotty, too blue, too spotty, too fancy, too frilly, too shiny, too silly. And we have a whole line of models coming through with all of these different hats, and he's finding issues with all of them. With each one that rolls by, he says, "Too beady, too bumpy, too leafy, too lumpy, too twisty, too twirly, too wrinkly, too curly." They now have a whole wheelbarrow of hats, and each person looks like they're just completely frustrated at the whole situation. The shop owner has just got this angry look on his face, and even the little bear has an angry look on his face, and he's saying, "Too holy, too patchy, too feathery, too scratchy, too crooked, too straight, too pointed. Wait!" He whirls around and looks at the chair where his old hat sits, and he grabs it and says, "Just right." The shop owner exclaims, "Just right? Just right, just right, just right." And as the shop owner glares at him as he walks out the door, you see, new hat, old hat. And so that, my friends, is Old Hat, New Hat. I know it might have been a little bit hard to understand or even see or even process what I was talking about there, but hey, you never know. I mean, you might enjoy these books, and I'm definitely enjoying reading them to David. David, just want you to know how much I love you, buddy. I'm seeing you grow up right before my eyes every day. And I'm seeing you grow up way too fast. And I can't wait to come home to you every day. You're one of the greatest things that's ever happened to me besides your mama. And I love being able to come home to you and your mama every day and be able to give y'all hugs and snuggles and kisses and all of those things. So Just want you to know how much I love you, buddy. Talk to you